Street Talking Other Stuff, Mike Mad Dog Magnati. Thank you very much for tuning in today on this Monday. And I want to say we have upcoming this week on Thursday one of the most significant events in world history. And frankly, I don't care what you believe. Jesus likes you, okay? You know, and I also don't care. There's been a lot of talk about how Christmas has become commercialized. The day they picked to celebrate Christmas wasn't actually a pagan holiday. I mean, none of that matters. We are celebrating Jesus' birthday. So look, whether you're believers or not, whether you're people who are people of faith or not, remember, Jesus was a nice guy. He liked you. If you met him, you would like him. Okay? Don't look at Christians. Look at Jesus. But it's his birthday coming up Thursday. It's just a great time of year. I want you to fully appreciate it, have a great time with your family, and just Merry Christmas. But look, I have got a really good show today. I've got someone who is a new friend that I want you to meet, to hear about the services she and her organization are providing to this community. But hey, Street Talk and Other Stuff, you stick around. We will be right back.
BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 14. Join your host Mike Mitchell and his special guests as they explore some of the most exciting fisheries BC has to offer. BC Outdoors Sport Fishing TV. Check your listings for airtimes.
Order ready for Susan?
During the holiday rush, those might be the best words you can hear all week. At Abby's, you get a night off from cooking, a place to gather with family, and easy holiday catering that everybody loves. For legendary pizza and hospitality, visit Abby's.com. Aloha and Melikaliki Maka from Abby's. End your year with a tropical twist. Our big Hawaiian pizza at a legendary holiday price. Plus, earn $5, $10, $20 or more in free pizza with our holiday gift card offer. Abby's, a legendary holiday pizza tradition.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Street Talk and Other Stuff. I am with my new friend, Andrea Torres. Nice to meet you. Andrea is the director of Grace House, a ministry over in East Wenatchee. And I hope you don't mind me saying you're a friend, okay?
No, absolutely.
I have just, you know, we've been talking off camera before we started. This is an amazing woman. She's got some good stuff to share with you, but tell us a little bit about yourself before we start getting into your Grace House position, that type of thing. Just tell us about Andrea. So.
Well, I was born in Mexico,
okay.
But raised here, mostly here in this area, Cashmere, East Wenatchee.
Okay.
Yeah, and then went back to Mexico in my teenage years and did most of my schooling there, and then came back here. Got married here.
Okay.
Have one daughter. Yeah,
right.
She's a nurse.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
What kind of jobs have you had before this one? You know, because you said before you've done a lot.
I have. Well, anything from working. I mean, I worked in the orchard. I worked in warehouses.
Yeah.
I worked at nursing homes.
You're telling my story too.
I know.
By the way, okay?
Worked as a teacher, teaching Spanish at the River Academy. I worked at a church. I worked at Sage Hills for a little while there. I worked at Hoper Clinic before it closed down. I have done a lot of jobs that just go on.
Now, if you don't mind me going a little bit off script here, see, this is the value of immigration to our country. And I told you earlier, I am the son of immigrants myself, first generation on my mother's side. We provide vitality, vigor, strength to this country, and I bet, don't get me started. You already got me started. I'm going to shut up, okay?
You got yourself started.
Sorry. Tell us more about Andrea here, okay?
But like I said,
you have one daughter who's a nurse, you said earlier.
One daughter who's a nurse, and I work at Grace House. I love being involved in nonprofits and things. It's just very fulfilling. Like, you have to do a job, you have to work, right?
Sure.
You might as well do something that's fulfilling. And
exactly, yeah.
I mean, right? Yeah. Everybody's got to work. Not that all other jobs aren't. I mean, everybody's wired differently, but I definitely fall under the what do they call it? Wounded healers. It turns out that when you're wounded, you end up wanting to heal others as well, as long as you're healthy. If you've done your work.
See, that's something I found out years ago. Pastors and police officers often have a similar background, often coming from dysfunctional families.
Yep.
And what motivates them,
they know,
is to say, look, I want to help other people not experience or heal from what I have been through myself. So good for you.
Yeah.
Good. Great.
So, yeah.
Okay, so your connection with Grace House. Tell us about that.
So I've been at Grace House about a year, almost a year and a half now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's gone through some changes, and I don't know if you know the history of Grace House.
I don't, so I'm wondering, I'm hoping you'll share some of that with us.
First of all, Grace House, I like to be transparent and clear, and so that's a good way to start. Grace House is a ministry of Lighthouse, so we actually fall under the umbrella of Lighthouse. And so there's a men's home, and there's a women's home, and then everything that happens downtown, the soup kitchen and all that. So I'm the director of the women's home that's over in East Wenatchee. Grace House, I believe, started about in 2012, 2013 is when they got the house and opened it up. And I think the heart at that time was, in our valley, everybody would agree, has changed quite a bit. Our country has changed. And so at that time, it was really about just housing people. They needed housing. There was, we've always had a homeless issue, and so they decided we just need to house these women and children, and so they would house any single women and any woman with children, and that's kind of how that got started. And the house originally was set up to house about 40 women because it was really the heart of it was to get people off the street and get them housed. And so although the house technically could house 40 women, it just really wasn't long term as far as taking care of the house. It really didn't work. And so I think they kind of scaled down thinking, I think we need to put more emphasis on discipleship, because we're not shy about saying we're a faith-based organization. We're not shoving Jesus down your throat, but definitely we're not shying from it. We're a faith-based organization. So then it turned it, let's try to disciple these women a little bit more, so the size got a little smaller.
And to answer a question somebody asked me on Facebook today, you weren't insisting people be Christian if you're not going to offer them services unless they...
No, not at all.
Because the Lighthouse has never been that way.
No. It's we are, like I said, we don't shy away from saying we are Christian.
Sure.
But that's it. So you coming in, it doesn't really matter what your background is. We just want you to have an open mind, open heart to, being cared for. Really what it is, So so then after that they decided, they'd have it more like a discipleship program, and so the size decreased a little bit. And then now that I came along, and so this whole time it was single women and women with children. We housed them all kind of together in the house, and just, that was fun. Well, think about it. Think about it. Like, when your grandkids are around, right? And you have a full house, and then you add a house full of women with trauma, and their kids with trauma. It was quite a lot of chaos. So as I navigated a year and a half of the house and just kind of structuring it a little bit differently, more organized, more methodical, we realized, one, the house, it cannot hold physically 40 people.
Yeah, you were mentioning facility-wise.
Yeah, even facility-wise. I mean, we have 5 toilets in the entire house. That would be 8 people per toilet. I mean, that's not okay. Like, nothing says I love you like, here, let's cram you into this house, And so we want it to be more intentional and just very like if we're going to take you in, it's because we're going to actually give you attention and care, not just put a roof over your head.
Right.
Because if you want to do it right, it really requires when you want to care for somebody. And I think a while ago you had a guest, and you guys were talking about the Good Samaritan.
Yeah, right,
Okay.
Right.
That story really teaches Christians. If you're a Christian and you say, I want to serve, I want to help, I think you need to read that story very carefully. And understand how the Good Samaritan didn't just bandage up his wounds and pour oil and whatnot on them. He did those things and then said, let me load you up, put you into an inn, house you there, and tell the innkeeper even if he accumulates other expenses, I'll come back and take care of them.
I will come back and take care of them. So what you're doing, you're focusing what your services are. You're focusing on the group. And I'm sure if you had a home that could handle 100 people.
Oh, absolutely. With enough staff and everything. And
right.
that's another thing that people need to realize. It's just myself as the director.
Right.
And I have a very part-time assistant, Melanie Laverne, who is just, she just came in, started helping a few months ago, I'd say like 7 months ago.
Right.
And that's been a huge help because trying to manage the house and just everything that happens, because we manage everything from, if there's a clogged toilet, if a light bulb's out, if the grass needs to be mowed, it is just like all us running the house, everything, not just helping the women. And so that's what people need to understand, like, well, why can't you have women and children and everybody? It's like, because we need more staff. We need more help. We need more money. It always takes money, so then we transitioned into lowering the amount of women that were in the house. And then, even then, we realized, oh my goodness, when you have these single women, right, and they're trying to do their thing, they have the women with children, and these women with children, everybody, we all have trauma, we all have everything, everybody comes with baggage and issues, right?
Yeah, very
but can you imagine now they have trauma, and now their 2-3 kids have trauma as well. So it is just a lot. So to truly help women, and I've been mentored by an organization over in Linden, Washington, an amazing gal. She just offered to kind of mentor us along and show us what they're doing, because they have a place that houses 25 women with children, and they only focus on women and children.
Right.
And she was kind of like, you guys do both? Like, I don't think there's an organization in the state that does both. And that kind of opened my eyes, like, are we doing this right?
Yeah.
And so in that transition, we started realizing for the amount of staff and resources we have, we can only attend to the single women, And so we started the transition out. We didn't kick anybody on the street. We offered them places to go or to transition out. And so we transitioned them out either to their own place or gave them an opportunity to go to the place in Linden. And so, and we just had a couple of gals that were still there. And so they transitioned out. And so now we only have single women at the house.
Okay. All right. No children at all?
No children.
No children. Okay.
And so, well, I'll tell you a little bit why kind of we will have children again. Because, so we are focusing on the single women, and that keeps us busy. Like, we're meeting with them weekly and just giving them resources and trying to help them out.
So rather than serving a lot of people poorly, you're trying to focus and serve a limited number and it's only limited based on your resources, not on your heart, right?
Absolutely. So if we suddenly got a huge grant, or people suddenly want to just drop off $1 million, please. Hey, I'm serious.
Out there,
if you have money to spend and you're like, I wish it would go to a really good cause, think of Grace House. Because if we had enough money to fix the house, expand the house, renovate the house, and just really get a bunch of volunteers and people that
increase your staff.
Help. We need counselors, we need mentors. So if you have a heart for like mentorship, or you're a counselor and you want to come and give your services, please come to Grace House. Because that's what we need. We need people, our community, to come and help us. And if we had all these resources and all these people helping, we could take in more women. We could do more. But right now, because of the limited amount of staff, like I said, it's me and my part-time assistant. That's it. We can't help everyone. So that's we want, like you said, that's perfectly said. We want to help, yes, less people, but more thoroughly, more intentionally, so that when they graduate Grace House, they can actually go out there and be successful instead of, hey, we house you for a few months or a year, and now hopefully it all works out for you, and we didn't really get to the root cause of why you're struggling. And so, because it does take time.
Well, that's that whole idea, not pulling people out of the water when they're drowning, going upstream and finding out why they're falling in, right? Okay.
That's smart.
I've heard that from somebody else.
Well, you know what? I heard that from somebody else. There was this analogy. It's actually from this ministry we support over in Mexico City called El Pozo de Vida. They work with anti-human trafficking, and he was saying, the founder was saying that story. He said, it's like like you hear this baby in the forest crying, and you go to find out what it is, and it's this river with this baby going down. So what do? You jump in and you take out the baby in the basket.
Right.
But then guess what happens? There's another baby. And there's another baby. Yeah. And then pretty soon somebody's got to ask, who's throwing these babies into the river, right? Let's go get to the source. And really, that is what we're trying to do. Like, let's peel that onion back to, why are you even needing to be at Grace House?
Yeah.
What's going on? So that's why it's not just going to be housing, and it's going to be housing and helping them connect with a therapist, and getting to us meeting weekly with them and just setting goals, getting them help as far as like even learning how to budget, how to
that very important.
Yeah,
very
like
important.
what to do with their money, because guess what? Even if they get stability,
that's a big thing with me.
Even if they get stability and they have a job, because we do require them to go out get a job when they're ready.
Sure.
Then what do they do with this money that they've never earned, right? They're going to waste it. And so we want to teach them, financial classes. So if you have a heart for teaching, finances, come to Grace House. Call us, get online, go to our email, it's online. Email me and say, hey, I'd love to teach a class, And so we do take them through Boundaries, the book Boundaries. I don't know if you're familiar with Boundaries by Henry Cloud.
Oh yeah, I've read the book.
Yeah, so I think everybody should read the book Boundaries. So even if you're
I have no problem saying no to people.
Well, some people don't, and that's why they get why they get into these relationships. And so we have a workshop. We have a pastor in town, Maureen, who's going to help us create the curriculum for Boundaries, so that way they have like a workshop they have to go through and have this class, so they learn the laws of boundaries and can actually do these boundaries and hold them. Safe People is another book that he wrote, and so we're going to walk them through that. Financial classes, and even just learning how to clean, because a lot of gals come in and they don't know how to do that.
Big one, because you having worked with DCYF both as a police officer and a therapist, I knew a lot of problems with some of these folks. That they walk into the house and the house was unsanitary, not being proper, and but people, it can be overwhelming.
It can, and also that's how they grew up sometimes. So
exactly,
they don't know.
Nobody
ever taught them. So. To them, that's normal. Good. Your normal, my normal, everybody's normal is a little bit different. And so what we find is that girls come in and they have limited skills sometimes, depending on what their history, their background is. So we have partners, volunteers that come in and they'll say, I'll teach the girls how to clean. So that's what we're trying to build, these partnerships.
All right. Need to stop you just for a minute, okay? But you're great. Okay, but look, street talk and other stuff. We need to take a quick break. I know that you're enthralled with Andrea. I am as well. We're going to come back, talk to her a little bit more about some stuff, but we need to take a quick break. So street talk and other stuff, you stick around. We will be right back.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure, on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
talking with Andrea Torres. She's the director of Grace House that we've been talking about. And now, you're no longer taking children, but you do have a plan to start working with children again.
Well,
so,
sort of, yeah.
yes,
like
that's what I want you to tell us about.
classify that as almost children.
That's what I want
they're
you to
adults,
tell us about.
So what we're doing, we're housing single women. So we're still taking any single women, and we're transitioning in 2026 to housing the young ladies who are aging out of the foster care system. Because these are, I always tell people, we don't want to call it that, but it really is that. It's the modern day orphans. Because if you think about it, you know, they were in the foster care system and nobody adopted them, you know, and now they have to go and be adults.
Right.
You know, and I think that there's still a lot of room for helping them transition into this young adulthood. You know, so that's why I say they're kind of children. I mean, I don't want to call them children.
No,
But
I understand what you mean.
They probably wouldn't want to be called children, but
what you mean.
they're very young. I mean, they just turned 18 and now they're being told, okay, you're
on your own.
You're on your own. Yeah. So.
And though there are some programs to continue with
Yes,
people,
there is.
they don't match everyone, and not everyone qualifies for
Yes,
them.
and not only that, it's like they need people to walk with them.
Yeah.
You know, like just because they hand money at you.
Well, any 18-year-old does. It doesn't matter if you're coming out of foster care or not. You
Exactly.
know, so.
And so now you take these young ladies who are from the foster care system, they don't have really any support or anybody. We want to be that support.
Okay,
So
all right.
we are working actually with Westside High School. We are talking to the counselors and we're setting up a meeting to kind of be the place where we meet the gals and just start that conversation and just really get to know them. And then we have a couple of liaisons that are going to be working with us to transition them into Grace House.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Excellent.
so we are trying to make it very methodical, very kind of thinking through the different pitfalls, things that could happen, because we want it to be successful.
Yeah.
You know, like again, we don't want to go back to just, we're going to provide housing for you. We want it to be more than just housing. You know, we want to connect them with people that are going to walk with them, help them, and all the other resources that I talked about.
So again, you're focusing on a specific group that you want to focus your attention on.
Yep.
Okay, so excellent.
Yeah, so still single women, but also in addition, the young ladies aging out of the foster care system.
Okay, now what kind of connection are you having with DCYF on this?
So we are going to be connecting with, like I said, right now we just mostly have talked to
Department
Westside.
of Children, Youth, and Families.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
sometimes
What
people
people
don't
just
know what
refer
the
to as CPS, but it's not. It's
Right,
more than
it's
that.
not,
Yeah.
it's different,
Yeah.
so.
So we're talking with Westside High School with the counselors there, just because we noticed that the trend is that if you're in the foster care system, you end up sometimes in the at Westside High School.
Yeah.
But our plan is also to talk to the public high schools and just with the counselors there, so they know, because they're the ones that are really in the know of who's needing that help, who's in the foster care system, who needs help. So that way we can do it very methodically, right? Because we can't take them when they're minors. They have to be 18. And so we want to do it very, planning ahead of time. If they're getting ready to turn 18 and they're a good candidate for Grace House, like they want the help, they have to want the help. That's the one thing about Grace House that I have to emphasize is you can't help anybody that doesn't want help. Doesn't matter how great your program is.
That's true. That goes back to the old joke. You know, how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but the light bulb has to want to be changed.
yeah.
But no, you're exactly right.
It's true,
you're exactly
because we can have an amazing program. Like you can find no fault in us. We could be perfect. But if the gals don't want the help, you can't make them change.
Right.
It has to be somebody who says, wow, this is an amazing opportunity. I have goals. I want to do things, but I need housing. I need a support team.
Right. And I'm willing to accept input. I'm willing to take a look at the errors I've made in the past, listen to the wisdom of others, that type of thing, and be open to it without taking it personally and getting upset. So well, that's great. Good. So
So that's what our next chapter of Grace House is still continue to house single women, but focusing on the young ladies aging out of the foster care system, so who are also single, and it is a 2-year program, because we have found that a few months, even a year, it takes a while to get better.
It does, yeah.
So we're hoping that by the time these gals graduate Grace House, they're in 20. And that hopefully will give them a good foundation that when they move on, they actually can be successful.
I mean, and you're doing practical stuff, like I said, the budgeting, teaching them to make their beds, brush their teeth. See, the responsibility thing, I had a contract with DCYF for counseling for years. And it was difficult often because these people had to have, they had all these requirements. They had to call in for their drug tests, they had to make their appointments.
Yeah.
But they had never been taught responsibility, never been taught about these things. And a 2-year program for people just coming out of the foster care system would be excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we always find that, it takes about, any gal that comes to Grace House, it takes about 6 months just for them to even kind of trust us that we're not going anywhere.
Sure. Sure.
Because they don't know us, so just getting to know us, meeting with us weekly, trying to figure out like, hey, do they really care about me? So about after 6 months, we noticed, okay, these people, they're good people. They actually want to help me. They start getting that trust.
Okay.
And then
all right. Well, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. Another.
But it's great, and we're gonna have you back, okay? But we're gonna have a few more minutes with you before we quit. But hey, we gotta take another break, but Street Talk and other stuff. I really want to thank you for tuning in today, meeting Andrea. But we'll be back in a few, so stick around. We will be right back. So.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
When flooding hit Serve Wenatchee, their office in Fresh Hope Market were devastated. But their mission to help prevent homelessness in this valley hasn't stopped, and neither will we. I'm Todd McLaughlin, General Manager at Apple Valley Honda. Now through the end of the year, we're donating $25 to Serve Wenatchee every time someone takes a test drive. And if you happen to buy a vehicle, we'll give an additional $100 in your name. Because when our neighbors are in need, this community steps up, and we're proud to be part of that.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new midsize Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Okay, we're back. Street Talk and other stuff. Talking with Andrea Torres. She's the director of Grace House. And one of the reasons why I want to have you on this time of year, when people are thinking about reaching out and helping, what can people do to help you? Okay?
Yeah.
And how can they contact you if they want more information or want to say, hey, I'd like to help? So
I think, well, right now, we're rebranding, redoing our website, so don't go to our website right now. But I would say email me, so grace@wenatcheelighthouse.org is the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay.
Just email me what your interest is, what you're wanting to do. We will send you out a volunteer application that you'll fill out. That way we can better fit you with what we're doing at Grace House. So the email would probably be the best way to get a hold of us right now.
Okay.
Until we rebrand and have our new website.
And of course, if you can't remember that, you can always email me, maddog@nwi.net, and I can fill you in how to get in touch with her. So what are you doing for Christmas for you and the ladies that are there?
We have found that sometimes they just want to be left alone, do their thing.
Yeah.
So because then you feel like you're hosting.
Sure.
So we provide a meal for them and let them run around in their pajamas, watch a movie, have popcorn, kind of feel at home. Because isn't that what you want to do at your home, right?
Exactly.
So we want them to feel at home. And so we're just kind of providing a meal for them, but letting them kind of have their time of relaxing. I mean, they all work, so it's like we want them to be able to relax.
Yeah, it's nice to have a day off. What are you having for dinner? What are you making? What's the meal going to be?
It's in the plans right now. I've been too busy at Grace House.
Make something up. Make something up. Oh, we're going to beef bourguignon.
Oh my gosh, no. We are planning that as we speak, so it will be determined.
Okay, well, look, I really appreciate the work you're doing. I've always been very concerned about women's issues. As a matter of fact, somebody slammed me on Facebook and said, why don't you just talk about women and helping them? You're so good at that. And I said, there's nothing you could have said that would make me prouder.
There you go.
But good. Hey, I want to thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, it's great. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas as well. This is an amazing time of year. Hope you have a good time with your families. Reach out to some people who may not have that connection, because this is a good time just to be Jesus to people, which is what we should be doing anyway, right? Okay, well, Andrea, again, thank you very much. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for tuning in. Street Talk and other stuff. I appreciate you being here. We will see you next week. The irrepressible Jamie Dunnigan will be here to talk about the Follies and the upcoming Hot August Night Show coming up. But hey, thanks for being here. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.